Okay, so in this lesson I'm going to talk about some music basics, some vocabulary that comes up really often when you're taking guitar lessons. I want to talk to you a little bit about notes, intervals, chords, what the difference is between all those three things, and then I'm also going to talk to you about the difference between consonance and dissonance. That's a really cool topic. We'll get to that at the end of the lesson. First, I want to talk to you about what a note is and a pitch. This is something that a lot of beginner guitar players kind of start to get mixed up a little bit. Notes, chords, intervals, pitches, there's just so much to talk about. So first off, a note is one single pitch. A chord is several pitches at the same time. Okay, so here's an example of one note. Just that, just one single note. Basically, it would be a note would be something that you're singing. It's not very common that people can sing more than one note. Usually people just sing one note and it's called one pitch. Okay, so this is, most of the time, a single note, you would hear that in some sort of melody. Okay, so all of that was just single notes, one note at a time, a single pitch. Now, the other thing I mentioned at the beginning of the lesson was intervals. An interval is the relationship between two pitches. So, for example, if I play the first string on my guitar, the high E, if I just play that open by itself, and then I play any other notes on that string, it could be 1st fret, it could be 12th fret, etc. There's going to be a name for the relationship between those two notes, or the distance between those two notes. So, if I play the open E string on my guitar, and then play fret 1, I've played two pitches that are a half step apart. If I play that same open string again, and then play the 2nd fret, I've now played two pitches that are whole step apart. And this naming system continues all the way up the string, and in fact one of the terms that people use very often is the octave. And what's really cool about the guitar is that if I play one of my open strings, let's go to a new open string, let's go to the low E string. This is string number 6, low E. If I play the 12th fret, so on most guitars they have dots on the front fretboard here, and then also dots on the side. I couldn't really afford to get dots on the front of my guitar, so I just got them on the side. No, I'm just kidding. It really screws most of my students up when I'm teaching them and I have no dots here. But as you can see on the side, or maybe you can't see in the video, I've got two dots here, and that should be the same on your guitar. And we're talking about an octave. So when I play the open E string, and that was a low 6th string, and then the 12th fret, we're talking about intervals here, and that interval between fret 0 and fret 12 is 1 octave. I've gone 1 octave. This happens on every single string. So, the next thing we're talking about is chords. A chord is 3 or more pitches played simultaneously. So, to recap, we have one note or one pitch, that's like this. Then we have intervals, so we have two notes, and we start to give names to these. If I go from fret 5 on my D string up to fret 7 on the D string, then I've gone a whole step on my guitar. And it does get a little bit intense when you start to learn all the different intervals that are possible on the instrument. But just to get started, we're talking about just vocab. What are terms that you're going to see, or I guess hear, people talk about? And I'm trying to explain these right now. So now the third thing was the chord. And we were talking about 3 or more notes at the same time. So the easiest way to play a chord on your guitar is just to strum 3 strings. Voila, you have a chord. So that is 3 pitches I just played: the open E string, the open B string, and the open G string. This happens to be an E minor chord, actually. Most people learn it with their 2 fingers at the 2nd fret as a big, huge cowboy chord, a big, huge open 6-string chord. But you can actually only, all you need to do is just play the top 3 strings to get another E minor. So now you know a cheat E minor, right? That's really simple. Okay, so a note is one pitch. Interval is the relationship between 2 pitches, and a chord is 3 or more notes. Okay, so here's a little quiz for you. You got your guitar in your hand and you want to know, okay, he's saying a chord is 3 or more notes. How many notes is it possible to play then? What's the maximum? If its minimum is 3, what's the max on the guitar? Well, the answer is 6. I can't play any more than 6 notes at one time on my guitar. A piano, however, you can take your arms and actually just lay them on the keyboard and play like 20 notes at a time. So that's pretty cool about piano. But guitar, I can only play 6 notes at once. So what would that sound like? 6-note chord. Well, here's an example of a 6-note chord. There you go. It's very lush sounding when you have 6 different musical pitches all happening at the same time. Let's see, here's another example. Now that brings us to our final topic for this video. Let's talk about consonance and dissonance. These are 2 terms that come up a lot in music. You'll hear them in the beginning stages of your learning, like, oh, that was really dissonant, or, yeah, let's play more consonant things. You'll even hear those terms all the way through if you go get a college degree. You'll hear your college professors talking to you about it needs more dissonance or it needs more consonance. And let's talk about those terms, and not even anything can explain this better than me just playing it on the guitar. So I've got my trusty Boss GT10 down here, so I'm going to record an open E chord here. And then I'm going to play some notes on the 1st string, that's the high E string right here. Play some notes on here and just talk to you about dissonance and consonance. Okay, here we go. Alright, there it is. Okay, so I got the loop playing on the amplifier, so I'm going to play some notes on my 1st string, and we're going to kind of just, guess together or talk together about consonance and dissonance. So here is the 1st note, the high E string by itself. Okay, so this is a very consonant sound. First off, I'm playing one of the notes that's just right in the chord I'm playing. I'm playing an E chord, so I'm playing an E on my guitar. So this is consonant. Okay, now let's go to the 1st fret. Oh. So this is an E chord here, and I'm playing fret 1, which is an F. This is a very dissonant sound. Dissonant sounds want to resolve to consonant sounds. So, dissonant, consonant. Dissonant, consonant. Okay, let's go to fret 2 now on the 1st string. Okay, so I would describe this as a consonant sound because I don't feel an overwhelming need to go to another sound. I feel like I can just stay right there on that fret 2. Alright, let's go to fret 3 now. So this is going to be your G note, string 1, fret 3. Ooh, wow. So this is a really really dissonant sound, Now when I play that note, to my ear, it wants to resolve back to a consonant note. So I'm going to play the 3rd fret and take it down to the 2nd fret. Consonant again, 2nd fret. Dissonant, 3rd fret. Consonant, 2nd fret. 1st fret really dissonant, and then the open string. Okay, there you have it. We talked about notes and pitches, intervals, chords, and then the difference between consonants and dissonance. All right, check back for the next video lesson.